From the coastlines to the capital, from Main Street to the Hill, JD and Joey break it down and tell you what is real. Welcome to the political pit. Yeah, we're diving in deep. Local fights and global pressure. No politician gets sleep. The political pit where the truth won't quit. Florida politics with JD and Joey. Strap in and jump in the pit. Now here are your hosts, JD and Joey.
Hi, I am Joey L. Welcome to the political pit, brought to you from the Patriot Life Studios. Next to me is our co-host, Mr. Joel Davis, president of the GOP of Osceola. Joel, what's going on? Talk to us about this great show we got coming up here.
Can you believe we're finally here today, Joey? We've been talking about doing this since I've known you. Joey's been one of my best friends. When year did you first come to work for us?
2002.
2002. I was like 18 at the time.
April 6th, and I had hair.
Yeah, me too. What's the common denominator there?
I don't know, but I think this show is going to be two bald guys with a view. Yeah, what do you think?
It could be. Can you imagine the view we got here? We're in Satellite Beach, Florida. We're looking out over the ocean. Look at that. I can't believe we're not out there surfing. Oh,
I know.
I can't. I hate surfing.
I know. I'll have to take a Dramamine.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a nap. But most of you who know me know that I'll probably be taking a nap more than I'd be surfing. I'll work on the tan.
Yeah, I can see. You may
want
to work on it
I need it. Yeah, this is the Casper look. I'm going with the Casper look, yes.
You're killing it.
Yeah, I think so. This is the look.
What a day to live in the free state of Florida, though, huh?
I know, it's beautiful.
Beautiful blue sky.
I know.
Nice breeze.
I know, when you walk outside, it was nice. Cars are filled with pollen. It's a perfect time of year.
Some of these poor schmucks are getting snowed on still.
Did you see that in Denver and the West Coast? And they're thrilled that they're getting the snow.
Yeah, good for them.
Good.
I'm thrilled I'm not.
They could keep it. Unbelievable. I go up north, you know that, and I just freeze. I don't know what's back.
That's the beauty of snow. We can drive up to it, and when we're tired of it in a day, we can drive back to paradise.
I just don't like having to pack socks.
What?
I don't like packing socks.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've noticed that. I don't know how you wear shoes without socks and don't ruin the insides of them.
It's called Johnson's baby powder. That's my little secret.
I see. I stopped using that about 65 years ago.
So, Joel, you had an exciting day yesterday. You were interviewed by the folks at the Washington Post, huh?
Well, I did have an exciting day. We went over, we had lunch with the great Senator Ashley Moody, the junior senator from the state of Florida. She's an amazing person, amazing energy. She is top notch. And while we were on the way over there, I had an interview with a reporter from the Washington Post. I've yet to see it yet, so I have no idea how badly he's made me look. I'm pretty sure that's coming.
Well,
he wanted to know about the redistricting. I'm not sure he wanted to know the facts, but that's what he got.
Well, it is the Washington Post. I think facts are...
they tend to lean a tad left, huh?
A little?
Yeah.
A little? Mm-hmm. When you walk in the building, you have to hold the wall.
Do you? Because the building's built at an angle just to start with?
Yeah, it leans left.
There you go. Yeah, but it was good. He, and I know better than to believe this, but he seemed nice. He seemed, attentive. Seemed like he was interested in what I was saying. I'm sure that was just an act, but it's okay. He's going to write whatever he's going to write. Bad publicity is better than no publicity.
Absolutely, and right now we need it. So what was the subject?
It was the redistricting. As everybody knows, the state of Florida just finished up redistricting. The legislature voted on it, I think it was early last week, and the governor signed it almost immediately. The socialist left's head's blowing up because they just think it's just completely designed to just be against them, but that's just not the truth. The state of Florida's gained, I don't remember, 2 or 4 million people, and it's just realigning. Like in Osceola County, since 2016 to 2024, the Democrats only gained 1,500 in voter registration. The Republicans gained 27,000.
That's an incredible number.
And so when they redistrict Congressional District 9, which is the one that I'm getting the calls on, we're no longer going to have a Democratic congressman. Well, number one, the county's changed. It's no longer dominated by the Democrats. They've collapsed. And it's no longer a two-party county. It's a three-party county. The NPAs it's almost equally divided now. And like I've tried to tell a couple of them, and the reporter, it's really about who the candidate is.
I agree.
If I don't run a quality candidate for that seat, it won't matter whether he's got an R or a D after his name. Nobody's going to vote for him. And it almost sounds like they're being the racist now. Like the only person that can adequately represent the Hispanic community, which dominates Osceola County now, is another Hispanic. Well, if that's the case, then I should only be voting for white men. That's ridiculous. You should be voting for the candidate.
No, and I get that completely. And our guest tonight, Representative Ms. Paula Stark, she's proven all that, Joe.
She has.
Now, for those who are listening, and Joel is talking about District 9, do you want to kind of, and you mentioned Osceola, what else? Is it just Osceola?
No,
Does it
no,
encompass, why don't you tell us a little bit of
It really looks more like the historical Congressional District 9. It now goes down through Okeechobee County to the west, Glades County. It picks up little pieces of Brevard, I think a little sliver of Indian River maybe. It's definitely dominated by rural, but the population base is still basically Osceola County. The existing Congressman Soto, he's just having a meltdown. But he, and that's like I told the Post yesterday, he's not a bad guy. I like him. He's in town all the time. He's a decent guy. His politics make my head explode. His anti-gun stance is just the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. But he's not a bad guy. But he's liked there. Mount a formidable campaign and compete. That's what it's all about.
If I recall what I had saw in an interview that he had done regarding the redistricting, he actually said by redistricting we could lose jobs.
Yeah, well,
I don't understand how redistricting will have a job losses because most when the left gets in, we kind of lose a
everything.
little bit. We lose business.
Yeah.
They're not business friendly.
Yeah. Well, here's my answer to that, and I fall back on this all the time. You got to remember, half the population is below average intelligence. Now, I'm not going to say which party that is. I have my own theories, but I've actually had people want to argue that theory with me. I'm like, seriously, half of any large number is not above and below average, just allowing for the difference between average and mean. And I'm thinking, I know which half you're in. Those are the people that say dumb stuff like that.
No, I kind of get that. I understand that completely. I fall in the middle. I personally feel that, and we have to say, when I say personally, this is entertainment and this is our opinions. This has no reflection on our advertisers, sponsors, and what's the other word I'm looking for? Help me out here.
It's strictly the opinion of the two co-hosts.
It's the two of
Absolutely.
us. Yeah. It's the Dayquil and the NyQuil. It's all blending in at one time.
Yeah.
So just bear with me. But yeah, I just don't get a lot of that, and I don't understand some of it. I think what it is
you're not in the half below average.
Maybe that's what it is, but I think a lot of it, and it used to be Rush, was use the word drive-by media, or just the drive-bys. They don't listen. They are only listening to certain station. They're not looking at, like me. I'm a guy in the middle, okay? But I read Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, and I'm reading everything. So I'm trying to get both sides, and not everybody's right on the right, not everybody's right on the left. I mean, I think most people, my opinion, I think most people are right smack in the middle. And I think what happens is the far left makes the people on the far right and even the people in the middle a little upset. And I think politics has gotten out of whack, and that's one of the reasons we're doing this show too, is so that we can bring some entertainment to you, kind of bring out, me being the average guy, so to speak, Joel being behind the scenes.
Less than average.
In the pits, as we're calling it. That's why we're calling it the show, or behind the ropes. Joel is up in Tallahassee quite a bit. So we'll be able to give you these insights so that when you do tune into us, and we hope you do, send in your letters. I want to put my mother through dental school, so this will help. So we need to just advance and educate everybody as we're heading into this very, very important election year, and it is November, not October, as I wrote in our pre-show notes. So we're coming.
There is an election in, I believe, August for the judges.
There is August 21st is the date for judges.
Right.
Also, Joel, we'll also be doing this show not only because Joel is involved in District 9. We'll be bringing in guests from politicians from all over the state.
And both parties. I've got a long list of people that are anxious to come meet with us, obviously because they haven't actually met us yet.
That's true. And a lot of them will be zooming in so that they really don't have to meet us.
Yeah. But yeah, Joey and I, and like I said, we've talked about this for a long time. We're hoping that this is educational, but also maybe even more so entertaining. We don't want this to be like sitting down and reading some article in a newspaper. This is where you can get some fun facts. Maybe you get a laugh or two out of it. I have a tendency to put my foot in my mouth occasionally. That might be entertaining.
Well, it should be fun. But for our younger audiences, a newspaper is something we used to read on a daily basis. It's a piece of paper with ink on it. Just want to establish that. And
or
I'm
in
an
the
old
case of the
publishing.
Slantinel, it's a fish wrapper.
The Slantinel, yeah, that's true. But most papers have. I was fortunate enough to grow up in New York. I had the New York Post, the lovely New York Times.
Yes, the Times, the old gray lady.
The Newsday. Oh my God, I was reading Newsday last week when I was home with my parents. Awful. You could just read right in the beginning the slant.
Well,
be neutral.
Mainstream media is clearly just the publishing arm of the Democratic Party.
That's why
of the
shows-
Democrat
yeah.
Party. There I go using that. That makes my head spin when people call it the Democratic Party. I'm like, no, that's a form of government like a republic. It's the Democrat Party, like it's the Republican Party. But I tend to make that mistake myself.
I sent you a cartoon today about that too, but we'll discuss that later. Pretty funny when we talk about what's coming up, and especially what's happening locally, because that's where we're focusing as well. We want everybody to just join us, join our YouTube page. We're going to put up a slide, so you'll see our YouTube page, our Rumble. I was thinking of West Side Story. We have a Rumble site. So we want you guys to make comments, talk about issues that you might have, or have a question. And if we don't have an answer, we might have a representative.
I'll make one up.
Or yeah, Joel will find an answer somewhere. Or
and I'm really looking forward to us going live. I'm hoping we get that done sooner than later. Have people call in, try to stump the chump. I'm here. I'm ready.
This is not password. This is a podcast. But when we were talking about the newspapers, and it's articles, and it's the slant that has encouraged people to have podcasts, and
That's right.
to be able to
get the
have
other
more,
side out.
to have what our First Amendment is the freedom of speech, and really reach out into an audience, whether you like us or not. And it's niche marketing. I grew up doing niche marketing, so if you understand, we're trying to fill that little niche, but give
Is
you
that
some
niche or
entertainment. Niche. I think niche is
Potato,
something,
tomato?
No, I think a niche is something you have, at breakfast, right?
I thought it was the daughter of your brother or sister.
That's a niece.
Oh, okay.
That's if you have a slur.
That's because I ain't got no good grammar.
You ain't got no good
I
grammar.
ain't got no
I'm
good
the one
grammar.
that went to
I
a
can
school,
add and subtract, but I ain't got no good grammar.
but I went to a school with a PS in front of it.
I get it.
PS 34.
Yeah,
That's how I got this wonderful accent.
You got an accent?
Well, around here I do.
Use guys?
Use. I definitely don't blend.
Well, we're anxious to be here, and we'd like to get this into a twice a week publication, session, episode. I don't know. What's the right term for this?
Episode.
Episode.
And every now and then you might hear
So
a
we're
voice.
episodic?
And we have to thank our engineer, Jesse Hall.
Absolutely.
From, coming to you from Space Coast Studios here in Satellite Beach. So if you are looking to do a podcast, check out Jesse. I've done several with Jesse. So we're going to go to our first commercial
He
break.
is doing a great job. I'm looking at the camera, and I almost look not terrible, which is really that's a stretch.
No, when we come back, you'll
Now
see a
you-
light bulb. Now, when we come back, I'll have a light bulb, so I look like Uncle Festa for sure.
Okay. Who is our first sponsor?
Our first sponsor is Patriot Life.
Oh, Patriot Life. I know about those guys. Aren't they the ones educating about the words, thoughts, and concepts, the concerns, the principles, the foundations, beliefs of the founding fathers? Isn't that those guys?
Absolutely, 100%.
I love those guys.
Oh.
Where'd they come from?
I have no clue, but they're very nice.
We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. Joey and I had to run across over the street there out to the beach and get a tan. It
Yeah.
hasn't taken yet. Our guest tonight, I'm really excited about having our guest tonight. It's Florida State Representative Paula Stark. You have this vague familiarity. I feel like we've met before, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Have we ever met? I don't. Maybe I'm just thinking of somebody else.
You're the guy that sleeps on my sofa.
Was that last night? Was that you?
Pretty much every night.
Every night? Okay. Well, I guess I'll be sleeping there again tonight.
Well, this show took a turn right now. I think we're going into Welcome to our Days of Our Lives.
Apparently, I'm on the couch again tonight.
I think so. Wait, the show's not over.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
might be
just
in the,
wait.
You might be in the garage.
I can, or the Jeep. So
Well, I'm proud
Florida-
to say that you're my other half.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Remember what I say about that half the population. So, Representative Stark, tell us a little bit about your background, your childhood, how you got to the point where you started thinking about politics, if you ever have, and and then we'll go from there. But tell us a little bit about your background. You were born in L.A., if I remember right.
Yeah, you love that joke.
I do. It never gets old.
Yeah, so let me just help everybody out. That is not L.A. It's Lower Alabama.
That's L.A.
And so I basically was born in Dothan, Alabama, because my family lived in Graceville, Florida, and there was no hospital. They had to cross the state line to have me. And
They didn't even have electric.
well, depends
I like
on where
Dothan.
you were.
I like Dothan.
Yeah,
I've been there.
It's great. Yeah.
Why'd
So,
you leave?
My parents took me over the line. They're
But
like,
then
we're not
if she
staying
didn't
here."
leave, you'd have no place to sleep.
There's only hope.
So basically, I grew up part of my life in the Panhandle in North Florida, and then my parents, we all moved with my grandparents to Central Florida, Osceola County. My family came; they were pulpwooders, and a lot of people don't know what that is. But that's
Yeah, I
people,
think you need to explain
Yeah,
that.
I'm from
Especially to Joey.
I'm above the Mason-Dixon line, so you're gonna have to explain that
Yeah,
too.
well, that was back in the day when they went and cut down trees and they trucked them out on long stems on the trucks and took them wherever they needed to take them. So
Long
and
stems.
pulp
Is that like the
stems.
trunk?
Yeah, it's like the trunk of the tree. No, it's not the trunk of the tree; it's the whole tree. It's
With the
whole
branches and the
tree.
leaves and everything attached going
Well,
down the
no,
highway?
they took the branches off.
Oh, so that'd be the trunk.
Don't be silly. So they took them.
And what'd they do with them?
They took them to have turn into pulpwood,
A pulpwood mill.
a pulpwood mill, mostly in North Florida.
Yeah,
Which
mostly.
created
Port St.
paper, which
Joe.
put you into the publishing business. Isn't that ironic?
Ultimately, it is the right. There's a lot of irony in my life.
And that, you see how I did that, Joel? You see how I connected the dot there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we ended up in Osceola County. I can remember back in the day, it was very, very rural there, unlike what a lot
Back
of
in the
our
day?
folks see now. Yes, because you're as old as I am, so just sit there. Um,
I think it's still rural.
parts of it is rural, the outer,
Parts of it is.
but not the insides as
I
much.
thought I ain't got no good ground.
Listen, you had to walk home to Alligator Lake, and I walked from downtown Kissimmee out to the Overstreet Ranch. So
Uphill
it was
both
a lot
ways in the
different.
snow in Kissimmee?
No, it never snowed in Kissimmee. It was hot.
Oh,
It was very hot. So
Well, the Jeep's
I promised everybody
You better
I'd
put the
probably
air.
be on-
You better have that Jeep air all the way home so that it's cold all
On
night.
my lead in to this episode this week, I promised everybody I'd probably be on the couch by the time the night was over. I don't want to disappoint.
You might be doing this from the Jeep.
well, anyway, so we ended up. My parents actually split up while we were in Osceola County, and my mom took us back to North Florida, and I spent every summer in Osceola County with my father, and that's how I stayed there. I ended up going back. I went to high school in Kissimmee, Osceola High School.
Yeehaw.
Yeah,
Not the Bulldogs.
unlike across the canal where you couldn't go, and so that's how I ended up there, and I've been there ever since. So
No, they won't let you out.
they let me go to St. Cloud.
Yeah.
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 So,
Lucky us.
here's the irony of that. We moved to St. Cloud because Kissimmee was growing so fast. When I started having children, I wanted to go over and be in a smaller town so that they could experience the
And
same
you're
kind
one of the
life
people who
as
ruined
me.
St. Cloud.
Well, yeah, right along with you.
Well, when I first came on board with Joel 20 years ago in St. Cloud, I was driving through St. Cloud. I'd come up Nova Road and either 92 or Nova Road, and I'm like, where am I? And now...
God's country, Moe.
Yeah, I put on the country station for those 26 miles just so that I blend. And then,
I remember you wore your cowboy boots with no socks.
Yeah, well, that's typical. But but the traffic now is ridiculous.
It is
The
crazy.
amount of growth. Just Nova Road. For those who don't know, Nova Road is like one of those old country roads, one lane in, one lane out.
Not for long, though.
No, and it's just there was nothing, and now never saw a car. Now there's traffic. There's traffic, especially when I go back on a Friday afternoon. The traffic coming into St. Cloud
Absolutely.
is just.
It's completely different
Completely
than,
different.
when we were growing up,
Yeah.
for sure.
But just in 20 years.
But that's because our state has become so popular.
The free
Yeah.
state of Florida.
Yeah.
And here on the Space Coast, where we are in Satellite Beach, you have Vieira, you have Palm Bay, which is one of the largest cities in the county, and actually in the state, I believe. And it's growing by leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Well, that was originally an old flying by development. I think that one wasn't Mackle Brothers. That was that might have been GDC,
Palm Bay?
Palm Bay. So
Oh,
they
Palm-
had like things like Poinciana, Deltona, Mackle Brothers down in South Florida. Palm Bay. That was when we'd bring you Yankees in the middle of the winter when it was snowing and sell you those lots out in the swamp for $25 down and $25 a month.
Like they did up in the Palm Coast.
That's another one exactly.
Grown
Palm
up,
Coast.
grown
That
up.
was an ITT community.
It was IT&T. They used to run ads in the Daily News.
Yeah.
Every day they had full-page ads. Buy this piece of land, $49 a month.
Yeah. Come on in out of the 0-degree weather and the snow and let us show you pictures of sunshine in Florida. Much like today is.
Yeah, beautiful.
Retired of Florida. Now, they forgot to tell you there's no paving, no water, no sewer on that lot, but, technicality.
That's all right. Some of them used to peeing in a tree.
Anyway,
So
tell
enough,
us more about
so
how
enough
you got
about you.
Yeah. always seems to devolve to me.
This is what we call going off the rail. So just
We were on
stick
a
with
rail
it.
to start with?
Well, the train was somewhat of a caboose, but that's another. So
anyway, that was the very short and long version of how I ended up in the newspaper business.
Right.
I thought I was going to starve to death. Somebody said to me, "Oh, you're going to live on commissions," and I'm like, what does that mean exactly?
That means they got to go find Joel and talk him into buying a bunch of ads. That's what that meant.
Well, eventually that did kind of happen.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I was in the newspaper business for 29 years. I ended up as a publisher when I left. And then when I left, I ended up going to work for a nonprofit, which is what I run now, St. Cloud Main Street, which is a national and a state level organization that's economic development with historic preservation, and it's because it was one of the things that we did to improve our community back when I was still at the newspaper. When I left and thought I was going to focus on my children's books, which I haven't focused on my children's books because, the roads take you down a different trail.
Absolutely.
And so,
You know how hard it is to sit here and not say something?
yes, good job.
Thanks.
you're doing good.
You might make it back to the bedroom. I don't know.
So, Paula, let me ask you this question. Because of your career path,
biting my tongue.
you being in publishing for 29 years, me being in publishing for 40 years, so,
You told me you were only 52.
well, I look younger. 2, 3, 4. Hello. So then, is my next step, is Joel going to be my representative? Am I going to be running for council next? They'll be burning a cross on my lawn, but that'll be a
Honey,
different story.
all I can say to you is if you're hanging out with Joel, you will not know what hits you until it hits you.
Really?
Oh,
After all these years?
Oh, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
true.
Well, speed up the story. This is only a 6-hour show, so you're going to have to move along.
Well, so basically, I have this thing in my world that's a kind of a problem for me, is I always
It's called Joel.
sit back. No, it's not all you. I sit back sometimes and I tell myself when something good happens and I've accomplished something, I'm like, oh, I can make such a difference. And that's how I ended up being the Main Street manager and staying there, because I was only supposed to help them out until they found someone.
But you did start it.
I did start it. Yes.
That's right.
And then that led you into your political career.
No, not exactly.
Not exactly. I've always kind of been on the outskirts of the politics because of being in the newspaper business and because of working at Main Street. You're working with the municipalities and your cities and what you need to do to get things done, and you have to interact with them, and they have to, approve certain projects and those kinds of things. So I was on the other side of it all along different times. I've had people who always wanted me to run for the mayor, and I'm like, oh, no. And then all of a sudden they did a redistricting thing.
Well, no, we were talking about county commission first.
You were.
Well, I was talking about the state rep first, too, but go ahead.
So Joel likes to set seeds because that's how he, manipulates me. Set seeds.
How do I do it? Just so I know, so I can remember what works.
Set seeds.
What is it?
Most men
Set seeds.
Seeds.
Seeds. Most men send flowers, but
No. I said, baby, you're running for state rep this afternoon when I got home for dinner one night.
And I'm like, no, I don't know that that's a good idea or whatever. And then,
No, I was like, yeah, you're right. You can't win anyway.
so we did
Ba-ding.
we did redistricting. In 2022, the governor did redistricting. So here we are, full circle, right? So we're having
Sure.
this whole conversation.
We're about 270 degrees, but okay.
2022, my district was carved out, so there was no incumbent in my district. However, my district was carved out as a D plus 20. And for folks who don't understand that, that means
A
it's
Republican doesn't have a chance in hell.
right, pretty much. That's what I was
Go
told.
ahead.
So I don't know any better, right?
Right, sure.
And
And she listens to me. It's really a character flaw.
I don't always listen to him. I just make him think I'm listening to him.
it helps his ego.
I know.
Yeah. It's so bruised all the time.
We had lunch with people that we've known forever, political people,
Just
people who
accidentally,
have
of
been in politics, just to get their opinion, decide for sure whether or not I thought I wanted to run or whatever. And so we would have lunch, and they would all give me a spreadsheet and show me all the numbers. You can't win, Paul. You can't win this.
Not that I intentionally picked who we went to lunch with.
And I would sit there and go, what do you mean I can't win? We can't just not try. Someone has to step up, right? And so
So I
ultimately,
pushed her forward.
really, this is a personality flaw for both of us, but for
I come
different
up
reasons.
with dumb ideas and she follows me.
I was talking to these people, and I pushed the paper away, and I'm going, you know what? I hear you. I appreciate your opinion. I know you're right. I've seen these numbers. I don't care. I'm running.
Yeah.
And we would walk outside. Literally, this happened. We walk outside one day, and he's laughing as we're walking to the car. I'm like, what are you laughing about?
And I said, mission accomplished.
There you go. Let's hold that thought for a minute. We're going to come back, talk to Representative Stark a little bit more, talk about her accomplishments, and really what all this redistricting, and Paula is the poster child of why some people are questioning, because as you're hearing this story, she didn't have a chance in hell to win. And here she is as the Republican candidate.
Well, as a Republican state representative.
Exactly.
Reelected.
Elected
and reelected.
And reelected. And
Again, in
by
the
a good
D+ 16 district.
and a good margin.
What's that?
She won by a good margin.
Absolutely.
It wasn't just, a couple of...
She killed them both times.
Yeah.
Now, you talk to lay people and they think getting killed in the political election is 20 points, but 3, 4, 5 points is getting killed in the political election.
Oh, absolutely. Let's hold that thought. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Our next, our sponsor, our sponsor, Joel has been an entrepreneur for most of his life. I think he started selling pencils on the street corner in St. Cloud to the cows. And
my whole life, because nobody would employ me. I had to go work for myself.
Well, that's another story.
Right. I wouldn't even employ me.
But Joel has had to deal with salespeople his whole career in his businesses, and we
boy,
all know
are they a pain in the
they
neck.
are. They're either lazy, they're prissy, they're fancy boys, they don't wear socks. But
if I could just find a way to sell my products without having to employ salespeople, that would be great.
Oh, I agree 100%. But
Is there a way to do that?
I haven't figured it out yet. I'm working on that skill. But however, having a business and having a salespeople, we know how difficult it is to have salespeople because they have lives too, and they get a little distracted at times. But with 2020 media, having a bus shelter or a bench,
People have a place to sit and
they have,
sleep at night.
they have a place to sit. Think about it. They have a place to sit. The ad and the message is in high traffic. People are getting to see it 24
right.
hours a day. Rains. Well, we don't have snow, but we get some hail.
When we did that one day.
Then when we did that half a day,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah.
it doesn't go to sleep, doesn't take a day off, doesn't need to go on vacation.
Doesn't call in sick.
Doesn't,
Joey.
doesn't call in sick. But call us at 2020 Media.
Yeah.
407-392-3885 and tell them Joey sent you because you're going to wind up talking to me.
I was going to say, that's not the office number.
What is our number?
407-892-3885.
Yeah, that's it. 407-892.
Or 888.
Well,
what is our toll-free number?
I don't know. I don't use it.
either.
I don't use it. But
I
just
suck as a business
you'll see
owner.
the slide. Call us.
Call 2020 Media. In all seriousness, it's the best way there is for that top-of-mind awareness. It's called thin market theory. There's very few people out in the segment out there, out in the population, that's in the market for whatever your product is on any given day. But you want to be, when their air conditioner breaks, when their car breaks, whatever it is, you want them to think of you. Now, I would have said in the past, when they're flipping through the yellow pages, they're magically drawn to you, but that day's gone. But even now, they click Google, you want them to recognize your name, have some kind of familiarity, almost like you know them personally. And that's what it's great at, because they see it day after day after day after day.
And
It's like we see each other.
Yeah. When I interviewed for that job, I didn't know what 2020 Media was. This is a true
He
story.
still doesn't.
I don't. I don't even know the phone number.
Apparently I don't either.
But when I was working in another part of the state, and my ex-wife at the time, she was finding jobs for me. Because
If I could jump in now.
no,
Go ahead.
hold on. Anyway, so the long story short is I was home for the weekend, and we were on Wickham Road here in Florida. We were on Wickham Road in Century, Melbourne.
In beautiful Brevard County.
Beautiful Brevard County.
Free state of Florida.
And right in front of the 7-Eleven was a bus shelter, and I had never seen it before. And I went, holy crap, a bus shelter.
Holy crap, a bus driver.
I'm like, they're fantastic. They're just a fantastic vehicle
You're
for
welcome.
advertising. Next thing I know, I get a phone call from the office manager, and he says, it's 2020 Media. I go, what the hell is that? He said, the bus shelter. I said, I was just talking
we
about
have a
you
show on
guys.
TV at night, 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock.
Well, that's on Fridays. That was canceled. That was you Downs, but that's another story. So long story short, I said, I'll be there. And a day later, and I've been with Joel for almost 25 years now. How about that?
I think we were running a nonprofit before Joey got there, actually.
Well, now
If I remember right.
Yeah, well, I came back again.
Of course, now Joey's worked himself out of a job because I think we're basically out of inventory.
We
in
don't
most
have
of the
any
markets.
inventory. I have to go back to Miami. I
So
have a Spanish
Are you out there
lesson.
surfing all day long? Oh,
No.
no. Clearly you're not out in the sun.
No, look at me. Do I look like it? I need a heat lamp.
I think a sun lamp
A
is
sun lamp.
what you're looking for. But
Heat
it's
lamp.
okay.
Yeah, well, I got malaria right now, so I don't know. Heat, sun.
Malaria. I thought maybe you were out on a cruise ship and got whatever that is.
Did you see that? That's the next one. That they're gearing up. They're gearing up for it.
But from what I understood, listen to Fox News, since that's the only news I get. No, not really. Sometimes I listen to the Cartoon News Network, but supposedly it doesn't transmit all that easily. They were saying really that the main way to transmit that is through rats and like the rats on the ships and stuff.
Okay.
And you were down in South Florida, and there are a lot of rats in South Florida.
Yeah, I know.
But
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so where are we at now, Joey? What's your agenda say we're doing now?
My agenda says
Your well thought out agenda that we destroyed and shredded.
Yeah, that went off the tracks. Anyway, welcome
we back to our guest?
Yeah, we're going to go back to our guest.
Thank God.
Representative Paula Stark.
I see the calls coming in now. Thank you for going back to Representative Stark.
Who are these two yentas? That's all they are. That's all they're doing is yentering. They haven't learned.
None. Too old to learn. Okay, so Representative Stark, she makes me call her that at home. It's really demeaning. So Representative Stark, keep telling us the story. Or your version of it anyway.
Well, my version
I'll tell them the reality later.
The reality is when we were walking out of the restaurants and you were telling me, and I was asking you why you were laughing. And you were like, well, every time we go to lunch and every time I watch them tell you that you can't win, I see you dig in. Those were your words.
Yeah, it was my words. I didn't invite
You
those
were
people to lunch on
manipulating
accident.
me.
I knew exactly who I was inviting to lunch and told them what to say.
So anyway,
I'd see that more as guidance instead of manipulation.
I call it the fixer. I think you're the Ray Donovan of the Osceola.
I call it the manipulator. But anyway, but it was okay.
But it worked.
I was willing to do it because I decided on my own, sitting in my office.
On my own. This was my decision.
You know what?
Nobody else's.
Because this is my downfall. My downfall is I can make a difference. And this may be the last stage of my life that I'll be able to do something for my community. Because, I'm at that point
you're
where
an idealist.
at some point I am an
How's
idealist.
that working for you in Tallahassee?
Well, better
Not too good.
Better than you.
Tell us more.
So anyway, that's how we ran. That's how we won. We shocked everyone.
Me.
Obviously.
Didn't shock me. I wouldn't have ran you if you were going to lose. I wasn't going to be with a loser.
Oh, dear
even
God.
though you are.
Dear Lord.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Go ahead.
Anyway,
don't keep stopping. Keep telling us the story.
Stop interrupting. So basically, that's what happened. But it was kind of comical because I really didn't know what to expect.
Oh, there's an understatement.
And when we talk about the political pit, here you come from, being an advertising person. We're a little bit more
naive.
No, we're not naive. No, I don't think we're naive. I think you come from a different perspective.
Right.
And when you go in there, you think you're going to become, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Oh, absolutely.
But the minute you walk in, you are in a pit.
Oh, yeah.
You're in a pit.
And welcome to the pit, baby.
And welcome to the pit, and that's what this is about. So, being that you are really a novice at the time going into Tallahassee,
so.
What were one of the challenges you had to face? I'm sure you had to be involved with there has to be that old boy network that you had to just either beat the piss out of, make them respect you, or hit them over the head with a shoe, do the old Khrushchev thing and throw them a shoe and say, I'm here, and this is what we're going to do.
That ain't how that system has existed for 150 years.
I know that.
The night she gets elected, I don't know why this light bulb didn't come on before. She gets elected, we're celebrating, and all of a sudden...
We weren't celebrating. I was
No, because
celebrating.
by then the light bulb will come. I'm like... You do realize, honey, this is politics. This is a full contact sport. This is a blood sport. She says something like, now she denies this, but this is the God's honest truth. They've never seen anybody like me up there before. And I said, oh, honey, not only have they seen you, they got a 3-ring binder on how to deal with you.
And that is his story that he continually tells, and it is not true.
It is absolutely
true.
Well,
why don't you tell us your version?
There
then?
really wasn't a version. There was not a conversation.
Tell us a fiction
like
version.
That.
Make something up. You are a politician.
But basically, there were some conversations. I will tell you that when I went up there after the primary, right, they call everybody up.
After her opponent was somebody she couldn't possibly beat.
And so then we get to the, Capitol, and they're talking to the Republicans because we're, all amongst each other, and they're trying to make sure we're all going to get elected and telling us what to expect and that kind of thing. And basically we were told that, if it's a thumbs up, you vote yes, and if it's a thumb down, you vote no.
So she's talking about the majority leader on
right,
the floor.
I get you.
Right.
And
I get it.
So this is like, don't think, do what we tell you. I call it VAI, vote as instructed.
So I came home and I told Joel, I'm like, you're not going to believe this.
And I said, oh, no, I am going to believe it.
And
I've been around it.
I can't believe that we had that conversation. But that's okay. Here is what I have learned. I understand, having gone through that, what the intent is. I do. also understand that
Yeah.
I have people I need to answer to. I was voted in a D plus 20 district to represent all people in my D plus 20 district, and it's very diverse. And so you have to keep that in mind, and you have to do what you believe is right. And I'm not ever going to make everybody happy. It just can't be done.
Especially the Republican Party occasionally.
Sometimes.
But the God's honest truth is, she does vote her conscience. I am proud of her for that. There was an issue, rent control issue, and
It was called the tenancy bill.
Yeah, called the tenancy bill. But we're developers. We don't believe in rent control. We don't think that it works. But a part of her district was Orange County, and Orange County had a referendum and approved rent control. So she voted for it. Now
No,
you
I
got
voted against.
What?
Against it. I voted
Well,
against
yeah, she voted against it, which was against what the Republican Party wanted. But it's like she said, she voted for what she thought her constituents wanted. The job isn't just randomly called representative; it's called representative for a reason. And she does go out of her way to try to do that. But you got to remember, the Republican Party has a supermajority, probably to our detriment, because it's had a supermajority for so long. All the low-hanging fruit has already been fixed. So now these people up there just, dying to get the name on a bill so that they can be in the record books forever and ever, just coming up with dumb issues to get passed. And when you got, one of the benefits of having a supermajority is you can allow individual members the latitude to vote their conscience or the way they need to do for their constituents or things like that. You don't have to have 100% strict compliance. But the previous speaker up there, who shall remain unnamed, but he will never get elected governor, he just didn't believe in that. Now, she never voted one time that cost the Republican Party a vote, but she did deviate from them occasionally when she voted her conscience. And that just makes her hair go on fire. Not so much now. The current speaker is a decent guy, but the previous one was, what's politically correct? POS?
Yeah, that would work.
There you go.
But we're not regulated, so you could actually say it. But
yeah.
we'll be polite.
He thinks he's running for governor. I'd make sure he can get elected dog catcher. Anyway, go ahead, honey. This is your story. I don't know why you keep breaking and then telling me to fill in.
Honestly, I've learned a lot, and it's gotten much better. First of all, you have to learn the ropes. You have to figure out, okay, what is the methodology here that's going to get me what I need to do for my constituents, how I can represent them, and how I can bring home, what I need to bring home for them. And that's the most important thing for me. And so I have had to learn how to weigh some of that out. And I've taken a couple of votes that I don't particularly care for, but I've also done that because I know I need to do that for my constituents to bring appropriations home or to whatever. And sometimes our citizens don't really understand that because they don't know all of, just like me when I went up there, I didn't know all of it. They don't know all of it.
Well,
they don't know what you have to do. Yeah. But you have some really well-meaning people on the state level. You do. Mm-hmm. There's some great legislators up there, and they work really hard. They do try to do the right things. It's just, and sometimes we're having conversations in the back rooms going, what is happening?
That's part of that political pit.
But it's great.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
Welcome to the pit.
Welcome to the pit.
But you know what? On the other hand, it's the greatest process in the world.
That's right.
To represent the citizens of any nation.
Right.
And so no one should ever disparage that. No one.
No.
Well, nobody's ever, probably very few people have ever said we're perfect, but we have the perfect system of government. It allows us to strive for perfection. We'll never get there, but we are more perfect than any other country, and the system of government allows us to recognize when things are wrong and off track, and to try to correct them and to strive towards perfection. There's just not another country on the face of the earth that has the opportunities that America has and the government structure that America has. And the legislative process is messy. The saying about making sausage and making laws, but citizens benefit when neither side get their way completely. They benefit when there's a compromise, and the founding fathers set it up to where compromise is really the order of the day for the most part to get something done. And the other thing is, legislative bodies aren't good at taking big bites of apples to fix a problem. They tend to screw that up horribly. But they're good at nibbling at it year after year after year, and we get a better product that way.
Right. And sometimes you can come back at it.
Really very good at bringing money back to her district. She's brought tons of money back to her district, which is what really improves their life more so than any particular law. And I'm proud to say she has really not deviated from voting her conscience on stuff. And I'm not sure as there's many other, I'll try not to alienate my friends, many other representatives or senators that's true of.
When we come back, we're going to take a quick break
So I can go to the beach?
so you can go to the beach again.
Got to catch that wave?
That's
Totally,
right.
dude.
That's right.
That's
right.
perpendicular.
That is. It's
Yeah.
gnarly.
Gnarly.
When we come
Totally.
back, let's talk about some of the accomplishments and what you're most proud of as being a representative, and some of the ones that have been popular, but you haven't had a chance to really talk about that you really want to talk about. And I know you did that whole rent control for the manufactured home.
That's
lots.
one thing that she's
So
really,
I think
really
that's
been good
important.
at.
We'll hold this thought. We'll come back, and we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Is
You're
this where I
listening
go
to-
donate the Dunkin' Donuts coffee
Yes, you
back?
do. Yes, you do. And welcome to the Political Pit. We'll see you in just a second. Welcome back to Political Pit. Joel, we're on our last segment, show number 1, almost in the books.
Almost in the can.
Almost in the can, that's right.
Who would have thought 10 hours would have passed so quickly?
Well, I think I have to change my beverage next time. So,
Anybody we can get for an advertiser?
we're going to have to, I think I have an idea. I think we're going to have some kind of adult beverage in here. What do you think, Jesse?
From the blank, blank, blank.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And we are coming to you from the, what studio are we in? Where are we?
The beautiful Patriot Life Studio.
The Patriot
in
Life
Satellite
Studio,
Beach,
that's
Florida,
right.
in the free state of Florida.
In the free state of Florida.
Thank God to Governor DeSantis, the best governor in the world, which, honest to God, I do believe that.
I think so. I think he is, in the last couple of months as well, with everything that he's done now, knocking down the Sharia law stuff, knocking down, being competitive with the other blue states. Not that I want to go blue
choice is a
states.
huge one.
What's that?
School choice.
School choice. Not that I want to go red and blue states, but the states that are led by have
Crazy
democratic
people.
leaders. Let's not call them crazy, Joel.
Stupid? They're part of the Dumbo crap party.
Not everyone that's on the left.
Is dumb? Is it
dumb.
in that half a population below average? I'd say a large percentage.
Oh dear God. To those friends and family out there that are on the left side,
I'm sorry
these are
you're
the
there to start
these
with.
are the opinions of Joel Davis. I'd give you his phone number, but I don't even know our office number, so that's not even going to work right now. But anyway,
Feel free to call me.
So
I do counseling for people that have Trump derangement syndrome. Speaking of which, I hear that's a new major in the colleges for the psych departments.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that. I mean,
TDS.
he does live in people's brains, and what people don't realize that he just antagonizes for a reason, and he does it.
He gets them off guard.
It gets him off guard.
But this is a serious question. Do you think President Trump is a gift from God to America?
Right now, at this stage, yes, because of what we lived through. And, we talk about policy.
That was yes or no?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I sat here very nicely going off the rail. But it does come to policy. And when people say, well, why do you like him so much? Why do you like Donald Trump? Well, first of all, growing up in New York, he had working in New York City.
Talks like yous guys.
Yeah, he's a regular guy. He even said people used to call me Donnie. Now they don't call me Donnie. They call me Mr. President. I'm Donnie.
Or something worse.
Yeah, but growing up, I saw all the things that he did for people.
He doesn't bother me a bit. He sounds like me and my pompous friends at breakfast talking crap with each other.
As a builder, I saw him build the Woolman Lake, the Woolman Rink.
That's it.
When I was when I worked in advertising and I had to go into New York City to call on the advertising agencies, this is pre-cell phone days. You didn't want to make a phone call on the corner of 34th Street in Madison. You
didn't want to touch that phone.
You don't want to touch that phone. And that was really before I was a true germaphobe. I used to go to his hotel, which was the Grand Hyatt, over the Grand Central Station,
That's right.
4th floor, where the ballrooms were. The phones were immaculate. The only people there were like other salespeople, and the bathrooms were the cleanest in all of New York. I can't default him for that. But he just lives in people's heads. And if you followed him all these years, watching him on TV shows, watching him do interviews, he was on Fox and Friends every Monday, way before. And I used to sit there and say, he's just ahead of what most people
No, he's
have
playing
said.
4D chess and they can't even figure out checkers.
But it came down to policy for him. I had a
They're spot
business.
on.
Joel knows I had a business. I barely made it through Obama. Started making money under Trump. Biden put me out.
That's
I mean,
right.
I had
and you're not
long time,
alone.
and I had long time. Yeah, I had long time customers that couldn't sustain anymore. It just wasn't there.
But back to, do you think Trump's a gift from God?
I think so right now, yes, because of what's going
Just
on.
to draw us back. I got to keep us in line.
Oh, thank you.
Stuff.
You're going to keep us on the track.
Yeah.
Paula, you've had and this is being in the political pit, and this is behind the ropes. You've had the opportunity to meet him up close and personal.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And multiple times. So for outsiders and people tuning in, that's kind of he's in some ways for others he's bigger than life. I mean, he's just
the people that don't like him have never signed the front of a paycheck in their life. And when I explain that to them that way, and they don't even understand what that comment means, that tells me exactly how out of touch they are with reality.
I also think, Joel, part of that, and I'm going to take the other side of that, I think what it is with him is, for a lot of people and their own personalities, they find him a bit abrasive. You and I...
He's pompous, but he's a billionaire married to a supermodel.
Right.
Can't imagine why that is.
Right, but for some people, they want a more softer tone.
But they've never accomplished anything in
their
life.
But we see that's not true either, because I know a very lot of accomplished people that have done this. But
that are Democrats?
Yes, or people in the middle. But I think sometimes we all sit back and go, oh boy, why did he say it that way? Sometimes it's his rhetoric, even though we know he's just following it.
But
Joe, you and I,
the other side.
We know that he's following that up to get that reaction.
But here's the other side. That's part of why we love him, because whatever he says, is what he's thinking. He's not a politician that's going to stand there and lie to your face and walk away and do something else. Whatever comes out of his mouth, unless it's maneuvering.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that have never read The Art of the Deal, apparently, including the Iranians, thank God. But I mean, we know pretty much whatever he says is what he's thinking. He's kind of like a stream of consciousness when he's speaking. We went to see him Friday, and he was supposed to be there at 3, showed up at 4. I'm thinking, oh, please, God, let this be the 1-hour version speech. No, I don't believe he has that in him. It was a 2-hour version, because he's like, he can't stay on track. Which is okay. This isn't a criticism at all, but he's like constantly deviating off the sides, making little points.
Sort of like
there.
our show.
It could be.
Yeah.
What are you saying? We're like Donald Trump?
Well, I like
without a lot of zeros.
Yeah, without the zeros, that's for sure.
Yeah. But a pompous billionaire with a supermodel, I can't imagine how that happened.
Well, no, I don't know either. But he was always in page 6 in the New York Post back in the day.
They loved him till the day he come down the elevator.
Oh, absolutely.
Escalator. Whatever that thing is that goes up and down.
Donnie Jr. used to say that, Schumer used to be in his office like every day going for money. Al Sharpton was always Sharpton was always in his office before he got into the sign-making business.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Paula, before we wrap this up, and you are our first guest, and we thank you.
Welcome to the pit.
Welcome to the pit, and we just want to. Why don't you share with us one of those accomplishments that, people have seen, people have heard, and then
what's your greatest accomplishment?
What's the greatest one, and the one that gets the least amount of coverage that really should be?
Well, that's two different things.
Well,
I think
I have 2 or 3 things that really have been top of my priority. But the
one
first
is having me.
You're a challenge all unto itself, sweetheart. The first thing I want to say is how happy I am that I've been able to serve my constituents, because it was unexpected to some extent, and I've really tried to do what I thought was right and hold on to that.
And you do.
And as it goes back to the redistricting issue, my whole thought process on that is, if I can do that, anybody can do that. It doesn't matter which letter is behind your name. You just have to do the right things, and you have to make people feel like that you're hearing them and that you trust them. And I'm so proud that my constituents made that choice. Twice. And I also have to say, walking into the House of Representatives and being sworn in is like nothing you've ever experienced. And so I'm so proud to have had that opportunity, no matter what happens going forward, because it's something that not everybody gets to do, and it is very awe-inspiring, and it does make you want to be a good and better person. It really does.
Well,
so
you at least.
Well, and we're talking about me.
Yeah.
So
not so sure some of the other people.
But that's okay.
But anyway, your greatest accomplishment.
Everybody, lives their life in their way.
Yeah.
So
you're deviating all over the place.
So there's several things. The biggest thing that I went to Tallahassee to take care of was the mobile home issue. And that has been a fight from when I was running for office.
Yep.
And it's something no one was picking up on at the time. No one. Then, that's right. It has resonated now, but I can tell you why. I am going to take some credit for this, because I really believe this has happened. And part of it is because of my newspaper and media background. We knew it was going to be a tough fight, because now what you have are these huge hedge funds that are buying all these manufactured home parks and stuff like that. in particular Florida. It's happening across the nation.
Across the nation.
But in particular Florida.
David and Goliath.
And it has just been horrible. I have had so many people reach out to me. It started in our district. It really did. People we knew.
With you, yeah.
And right. And then it was just amazing. I showed up on mobile home parks talking to the citizens and having the park owners tell their management, you tell her she can't come on the property. And I said, I think you should go ahead and do that. Tell me I can't come on. But we did. And we did with escorts from law enforcement.
Yeah.
Because we know people. But
You got a guy.
We
got a guy. So we showed up and we actually started giving these people some hope. It's very, very limited hope. I do have to tell you, because it is a tough nut.
But
and
you're making inroads every
and
year.
I've passed 2 bills. I would have passed 3 bills, but couldn't get it on the final agenda
Yeah.
for a multitude of
Shockingly enough.
reasons. There were
Thank you, ex-speaker.
there are reasons for those kinds of things happening, but I have been able to resonate with that particular issue. We have been able to make some changes that have been helpful to these citizens, but we have not been able to make enough changes fast enough. I did file a bill this past session the number was 703, HB 703, and it addresses a whole lot of other issues that they're dealing with right now. These people, they're losing their homes, systemically losing their homes, and we're making them homeless. And so what's going to happen on the other side? Not only do they lose their dignity, now the state's going to pay for them on the opposite side of the coin. So why aren't we doing something to change that currently?
Let me jump in just a second and explain, because not everybody's familiar with how that works. So in these mobile home parks, and this isn't 100%, but typically the lots are rented to the residents, but they buy outright, whatever, own the home normally. Sometimes they rent the home and the lot. But they'll buy the home, they'll have a mortgage on the home, they'll start out, and in one particular case, at my administrative assistant, her rent started out at, I believe, at $425, right?
Correct, that's right.
It's now at $925 5 years later?
Yep.
So what they keep bouncing these rents higher and higher and higher until they can't pay the rent, and then they just throw them out, and then they take the home. Now they get to either, the hedge fund either rents the lot and home together as a package, or sells the home and still rents the lot. It's a horrible, horrible system. I've been in business my whole life. It doesn't bother me if 2 equally, talented business people go head to head and beat each other's brains in. But this is David and Goliath. This is these hedge funds taking advantage of some of the lower income people, some of them, and this isn't all of them, some of the less educated people, and some of the people that are just the very least able to defend themselves. And as Americans, we don't allow stuff like that to happen. That's just not how we're put together.
So there's so many nuances to this whole situation. It's not only just that they raise the rents, it's also how they want to force them to pay the rents, and then that creates other issues, and then they put penalties on it, and then it increases it, and then they evict them, and then they have no recourse. Some of them, if they have HOAs, they've had a way to actually try to fight it, but there's no teeth behind what the previous laws have been for them to be able to go forward with being able to negotiate it. And we're working on all of those pieces.
Yeah. One of the questions I have regarding that, and you had just brought that up, is HOA. HOA fees in the state of Florida have just gotten outrageous because
That's right.
I mean, I'm a victim of that as
That's
well.
right.
You know, I live in a beautiful townhouse, but when I first moved in, it was $258.
What is it now? About $20,000 a month?
It's almost $600 now.
Yeah.
And
It's the same. It's almost the exact same.
And it just keeps going up and up and up. And there's no recourse because
Right.
they threaten you. They don't want to make the. So it's awful for what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they
But
cross
now-
over the mobile home issue and HOAs,
Well, that's
which
what
is
I'm asking.
which is different.
It's a little different, but
Right.
but there's a little.
there's crossover
cousins.
in them.
They're
Yes.
Yeah.
cousins in a sense. So I know there was some bill or somebody was
That's
bringing
right.
up.
Juan Porras from Miami. We've become really good friends. We were right next to each other the very first year. He was after HOAs and I was after mobile homes, and we came together and we talk
Close,
all the time.
quick friends,
We're
yeah.
really quick friends. And if he does a HOA bill and I do a mobile home bill, we're co-sponsoring each other's bills.
Yeah.
Understand.
Now, that was
we're-
previous legislators
Right.
let the HOAs get out of hand.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to insinuate that lobbyists were involved, but maybe. But now, they really have, the last couple of years, they have been trying to rein them in because
Yes.
they're out of control.
Yeah.
Like you. It's just not right to do that to people's homes.
No.
Yeah, it is all really, really a tough situation, but we are making strides both on the manufactured homes and on the HOA side, but we're having to take a bite at a
No,
time.
I understand that because it's a big task. It is a huge undertaking, and some of these homeowners and some of these HOAs, these guys are just. They just get that. They walk around with that clipboard and a whistle, and
they come down from New York.
It's a black and white
it's
issue.
the first time they've had authority in their life, and the next thing you know, they're out writing up everybody because you got 3 weeds in the front yard.
Well, I'll tell you part of the difference on just an HOA issue and a manufactured home issue is the clientele.
Right.
That's right.
Most of the clientele in manufactured homes are either senior citizens or there's some of our socioeconomically challenged individuals.
Yeah.
And so they just don't have the recourse to go after some of these people and to fight back. Some of it is starting to happen. My mantra from the very beginning is we're going to the media, which is what we did.
Yeah.
Right
Didn't you
off
start
the
to get
bat.
to that point a minute ago? A few minutes ago before you were.
We have a
bringing it
few.
up?
Yes,
We have
I
a few
did.
more minutes. We have like 3 minutes left. Tell us that one accomplishment that you have done that's not getting that recognition that it needs, or that you don't really have a chance to.
There is one.
Well, there's not totally one. That one, we just keep fighting it.
That's a great one.
But that's the
She's getting
big
and,
a
I,
recognition
and,
on that.
and I think that's a great. I think that is.
It
a
is starting
topic-
to resonate. It's going across the
That's right.
state. We have
the country.
representatives. Yeah, I have people calling me from everywhere. So that one's really good. The autism bill was one that I really, really fought for. It did pass this year, but
Oh.
it went to a different
Under somebody else's
under
name.
somebody else. After I ran it 3 times through, I can't tell you how many
And got
committees
approved
unanimously,
through committees, and then a
and then it would
previous
get stopped.
and
that was-
speaker, who I won't mention,
So-
refused to put it. Now,
so there's
who
some
can
things
be
like
against
that.
an autism bill
Yeah.
except that previous speaker?
Well, and the other thing I got to tell you that I'm really, really, really passionate about, and we have made strides, not in a bill form necessarily, but for the youth, is what I call a bill to bill. And I got our school district to agree to do this in our school districts, in our civics classes. We actually give them the opportunity to write a bill as a team, as an individual, whatever. I have an advisory council. We let those kids come in after we pick out
That's
like
a
the
great
top
bill.
5. We pick out the top 1, and then I submit their idea as a bill.
And some good
in
ideas have
legisla-
come out of that.
And great ideas have
Oh,
come
that's-
out.
that's
And what's
fabulous.
really happened is we've taken it beyond, because I'm always one of these is, okay, you can't get a bill. I'm using it as a teaching method for these kids. It's like, one was CPR. They wanted their
I'm a bill, I'm
teachers.
just a bill
Right.
here on Capitol Hill,
This is why you don't get anywhere, because you get interrupted. So, we came back and I went to our fire department. Our fire department said, yes, Paula, we will come in and we will train all of the teachers and the students on CPR. Even though we couldn't get the
Explain a little more
bill,
about the bill to start with, though.
they wanted CPR taught
Right.
because they had a coach. They were at a basketball game.
Right.
The coach went down, and no one there knew what to do. There just so happened to be an off-duty law enforcement officer who came down and gave him compressions until the rescue unit got there. Otherwise, he would have been gone.
Yeah.
And so those kids witnessed that. And so we've had so many things come through like that with these kids who are absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And they tell you stories. They're thoughtful. They've done their homework. They give you examples. And I am so awe-impressed with these kids.
Yeah.
We have made sure to take back something so that they have a learning situation from it. And in some cases, we've paid to bring them to Tallahassee.
That's great.
And by we.
We.
But
Right.
Over and above that, some of them have taken on or enhanced their interest in a political
That's
career.
right.
And so it's kind of like bringing in the next generation,
and getting them involved.
Yes.
Yes.
And I know you hear people talk all the time about how horrible kids are, and I'm guilty of that sometimes. But then I see my grandchildren, they're not guilty of that whatsoever. We see these kids, they're not guilty of that whatsoever. They're different than we were when we were kids, but I mean, dirt hadn't been invented yet when I was a kid. But there's some great kids out there. There really are, and some very thoughtful, very smart kids. Did I throw in yet this episode that my granddaughter just got accepted to Vanderbilt?
No, I
you
think you
haven't
left
said
that
that.
out.
Why don't we wrap up with that
yeah.
and leave on the high note? Representative Stark, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on our show.
Thank you
and
for
joining
having
the
me. I'm
pit.
glad that we didn't have to do anything and change the name to Armpit. But then you could
No.
have
Well, some things are unsaid.
Well,
But welcome to the pit.
but here's the other side of that coin. You'd have had deodorant companies you could sell ads to.
What's that?
You would have deodorant companies you could sell ads to.
You'll have to talk to Joey. He's a salesman.
That's my department. Anyway, we want to thank everybody for joining us on the Political Pit. Joel, this is our first week. We'll definitely be doing a review. We're asking everybody to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll have the slides up for you.
Yep.
You'll be on YouTube, so really we should be telling you. But it's kind of hard to tell you what we are because we don't even know where we are yet.
I don't know where
right?
I'm at most of the time.
So they're going to have to find us, but subscribe to us.
Well, the political
you know what
pit,
I'm trying to say.
We're on
Join us for-
Facebook. We're on
Facebook. You'll
Rumble.
find us on Facebook. We're going to be on Rumble. We'll be on YouTube. So if
We've
you're
got a
finding
great
us,
social management team here, and I think it went well. Now that's just my pompous opinion, but I also want to really thank our engineer tonight,
Mr. Jesse Hall. Yes,
yeah,
thank
he's
you,
done
Jesse.
a great job.
Again, we're at the Space
He's
Coast
made me look
Podcast Studios
halfway
here
nice.
in beautiful Satellite Beach, and we're going to
In the
say
free
goodnight
state of Florida.
in the free state of Florida here on the sunny side of Satellite Beach.
Absolutely, beautiful day. I would tell everybody this is why you need to move here, but no, don't stay up north. Don't move here. Nobody else move here. Just
But
joking.
if you do, open up an Italian deli here in Melbourne, a real Italian market.
Or come to Boca. If you're in the Wall Street business, we are welcome. We've been working hard to bring Wall Street to Boca, Wall Street South, and that mayor up there, you can bid him adieu and come down here to where sanity lives.
We'll discuss New York. That's a whole segment we have to go into.
Absolutely.
You talk about buyer remorse. I mean, there's so much we can go into, but we're going to say goodnight because it's getting late.
Was it about midnight?
Almost, and Jesse starts charging by the minute. So we
When
have
we
to
go overtime?
The meter. It's like a cab driver in New York. The
Yeah,
meter.
yeah.
So they talk to you to
And
make
just
sure.
like that, we took the circuitous route to where we were
Absolutely,
headed.
absolutely. So we're going to say goodnight. Joel, say goodnight. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Good night,
We
everybody.
hope you enjoy us and have a good time.
Tune in the future. We got
again,
some great guests
This is
lined up.
opinion. This is the host's opinion, not all necessarily mine.
Or the guests.
You
Or
can,
the guests.
you can agree with me or you can be wrong.
Well, that's true.
I thought I
what
was wrong
segment.
once, but I was mistaken.
Yeah. Oh, good God. All right, we're going to leave on that note because I don't even know how to end it. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned because we got a great list of guests coming up, and we hope not only did you learn some stuff, but hopefully you're entertained.
Back rooms of City Hall to the halls of Congress. From Tallahassee to Washington. The deals, the drama, the headlines, and the fight shaping Florida's future. There's fire in the sunshine, storm clouds on the rise. Everybody's talking, but nobody's asking why. From the coastline to the Capitol, from Main Street to the Hill, JD and Joey break it down and tell you what is real. Welcome to the political pit. Yeah, we're diving in deep. Local fights and global pressure. No politician gets sleep. The political pit, where the truth won't quit. Florida politics with JD and Joey. Strap in and jump in the pit.